Hey guys, and welcome back to Do Tell. How's everyone doing?
Fantastic as always.
You went back to the formal thing.
Always. How about you? How you
I'm
doing?
doing pretty okay. That's good.
Oh, that's great, hon.
Yes, that's great, hon.
I sound like such a mom.
You do, and you kind of look like a mom too.
Oh, thank you.
No, you just.
Is that a compliment?
I just meant like right now you're wearing a cardigan or something. No,
And like
when you were sitting down, it looked like you were wearing a cardigan and you had glasses. Your hair was in a bun, and I was like, well, now that you stand up, you don't look like a mom. It was just like, from my view.
I know, because like you only really get like from kind of
shoulder and above.
Shoulder up.
So, okay.
It's not
Anyway,
much just
moving on. Yeah. Moving on from Layla's momness.
Sorry, guys.
But you are the mom of the friend group. You are.
I know. It's a good thing though. Like I'm responsible, but I'm like a fun person at the same time.
Yeah. So.
Ooh, you know what we're gonna do?
Yes, you guys already know. It's coming. It's coming. Full speed.
Yes, right at you.
Okay, so it's our quote/advice of the week because now we do quotes too.
Yes, because of me, I've got her on it now.
Yes, I have a quote board and everything on Pinterest. I mean,
yes.
Really.
She just started to get on Pinterest.
Because literally
and make boards now.
The entire homepage of mine is just quotes now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have like 110 boards. I'm not kidding you. So that's like 1,000. I get like a lot of views on my Pinterest page.
Dang.
It's like 23K a month.
I do not have that many boards at all. I have like it's definitely less than 10.
I can't even look. But because I have my beautiful quote pulled up.
Yes.
But,
okay.
So we haven't told each other the quotes or advice that we have yet. So we're going to get an actual reaction. Guys. Okay. So this is going to be interesting.
You want to go first? You want to go first?
I'll go. Okay. I'll go. Because I'm really excited. I like this one.
Imagine if it's the same quote.
Oh my gosh. We think alike, guys.
Okay.
Okay, so this says, I have no idea like what it's by, but it just says, I trust the next chapter because I know the author.
Ooh, that's good.
See, because you are the author, guys.
Yes.
You decide what happens next. Nobody else.
I like that. And don't let anyone else tell you either.
No. You are the judge maker.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Go right ahead. I am so curious with yours.
All right. So mine is by Breen Brown. I like the name because I don't know, it just rhymes.
That's a cool name, yeah.
And she says, expectations are resentment waiting to happen.
Ooh.
Yeah, it hit a little hard. But
I'm like, let me think about that for a minute. I was like, oh geez. That's deep quotes you got there. You're like a deeper.
Yeah, I'm definitely deeper.
That's actually kind of like, that's a good quote. Like, say it again. I want to hear it, just so I can think about it.
Expectations are resentments waiting to happen.
Yep.
Yeah. I agree because I feel like once you have an expectation, it's just like, no, you can't control who meets your expectation and who doesn't, right? Yeah. So it's kind of you're setting yourself up to be sad about it, upset about it, and it doesn't work for anyone. It's just not good for
No. So I know. I hate like expectations, like rather from like, you know, your family, others, like online people. Like you even set expectations for yourself sometimes. You know, it's insane like that we do that for ourselves, and like it could be a good expectation, but it could also be like a bad, stressful expectation.
True. And honestly, I feel like the expectations that we set for ourselves, they stem from like society's, families, friends' expectations. It's not really, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people just don't have that moment kind of thing where they have their own expectations. It's always like, oh, my dad said I should do this, so I'm going to set myself an expectation of doing this. And I don't think that's how it works. I feel like that's when you set yourself up for, you know, bad things like failure or like you hate it or all of that stuff.
True. Like, you know, a normal expectation, like for me and you, I know exactly, like we have an expectation to go to college, you know? Like it's a thing that's gonna happen. Like, you know, some people in like our generation now, like we don't want to go to college or they want like a leap year or whatever that may be. But you know, Yeah. And like it's interesting to see like other people's like expectations for rather themselves or like, you know, their children, for instance, and like kind of like their own opinion on it. Cause like, you know, our generation, like we're kind of split between a whole bunch of different
Mm-hmm.
ways. It's like me and you, we want to go to college. And like some other group of people, they're like, no, it's not for me. Cause it may not be, you know, for them. Or, you know, they may need like a gap year to think about life and like what they want to do. So it's interesting to see
It
it.
is. And honestly, I've like never thought about not going to college.
Me neither. Me
Like that
neither.
like it never occurred. It was always in my mind
Mm-mm.
as that's rite of passage. You have to do it. I never felt like I had a choice between not going to college and
Yeah.
college. It wasn't a choice. It was
Uh-huh.
like, you know how you have to go to school? You don't have a choice. That's college for me.
Yeah.
And you, I'm pretty sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Like my mom and my dad, of course, tell me to go to college and all of that. Like with rather like they kind of give me stories of like rather maybe like their family or whatnot. Like some people in like my family didn't go to college and like how they kind of turned out and like examples of like other people like rather maybe be like a celebrity or something. And like, you know, I get like some people don't want to go to college because they think like they're going to just make it on their own, like without any education, which sure, that may work for you or it may not.
Yeah.
That's the thing, though. It may not work or it may not.
Yeah.
I mean, it may will.
There's no safety net at that point. You know, it's
Mm-hmm.
like you either succeed or you fail and you have to keep retrying. And like, please
Mm-hmm.
listen to the part where I said you fail and you keep retrying, because just because you fail
Yeah.
does not mean you are done for the life. No, you have to
Oh, no.
retry.
No, no, no.
Whether you have to
Yeah, I
tweak
agree.
something,
'Cause-
yeah.
yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. It totally makes sense with that. Like, you may fail, like, for instance, like, as we were talking about, like, college and going to college, like, if you didn't go to college and, like, what you have planned didn't work, like, you can totally go back
Mm-hmm.
to college. It's like, there's no age limit there, I don't think, at
Exactly.
all. And you can go back, you can retry, restart. I mean, you know, whatever works for you. I mean, it may work for others and like a very small percentage of others, but maybe not you. Maybe it is. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. And I know, like, I feel like this is where the society's, you know, expectations come in, because, you know, society expects you to be in college when you're 18, have a job when you're
Yep.
like, I don't know, 25, be married
Yeah.
when you're
Wow.
like
Yes.
27, have kids at this age.
Yeah.
And there's so many like
Oh, yeah.
expectations, you know, and I understand like a lot of people feel like, oh, okay, I'm trying to like word this as nicely as possible.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead. As brutal or honest as you want.
Well, okay, you know what? I'll just do a personal. I
Little
would
tea.
say it as a personal story of mine. So basically,
Okay.
whenever I do like super stupid stuff, I
Mm-hmm.
don't reach someone's expectations, and it's like I can clearly tell I don't reach their expectations. It always makes me feel like I failed at
Yeah.
something. Um,
Okay.
and I think it's very important. I don't take this advice, by the way. I really should, but I
Do
think it's
it, please.
I think it's very important that you like step away from that for a quick second, think about it, and
Mm-hmm.
realize that you did not fail. It was just a little minor setback. And it's
Mm-hmm.
okay to feel like you failed, but don't let that define you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally understand what you mean because like we both have failed at something in our
Mm-hmm.
life. Like rather it being like I didn't put the dishes in the dishwasher correctly, like that kind of simple thing, or like it may be a huge like career-wide thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it just depends like on each person, but like you get through it and you try again or you try
Exactly.
something else, you know?
Exactly. And also, guys, if we didn't fail, we would never go anywhere, because we would just always believe
No.
that we had it amazing and it was always amazing. Failure lets you
Mm-hmm.
learn. That is only if you use it
Oh, yes.
correctly.
100%. That's true. That's very true. Like whatever situation that you're at, like failure actually is a good thing if you think about it. It's not
Mm-hmm.
bad. Like, you learn from it. Well, you should learn from it, hopefully, if y'all do. And, like, take the advice that you learn from it, like, kind of, like, write down if you want to, like, this is what I've learned from it. This is the situation. Like, I may have done this wrong, or the other person did this miscommunication, or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And just learn from your experiences so, like, you can move on and do better.
Exactly. Woo! This entire episode is gonna be a tech talk, you guys. Like, get prepared.
Yes. Yes, this is why we should be TED Talk hosts.
Yes. Oh my god, we should do an episode about that.
Let's totally do that. Oh my. Well, in coming next episode, you're going to hear about that. Just kidding. Hopefully soon.
Hopefully soon. But yeah, as you were saying, like, you know, you write it down, or you talk to someone, or you talk to yourself, or whatever you need to. And I think it's really important that you should, if something doesn't work, change the plan, not your goal or what you're trying to get, you know?
Yes. Preach, honey. Preach. You just spoke to me. Yes. You change your plans. Like, exactly. Like, okay, this totally goes together. Okay. Like, for instance, this morning, we were going to record at 10, and Sanjana, like, her sister had a class, and, like, she couldn't until 11. And I was like, okay, that's fine. We're not changing the goal, we're changing the plan.
Exactly. And this might be a little thing, like, our goal was to record, okay, today. And we just changed how we got there. We still recording. We're still here.
See? Oh my gosh. That was perfect.
That was a great example. Totally, and of course, please, like, you should definitely use that for bigger things too. Like, if you wanted to be a doctor or something and you fail the MCAT, just change how you study. Change, like, who you hang out with. Change who you ask to help you study, you know? Not like, oh, I failed the MCAT, I can't be a doctor, so let me go be, like, a plumber or something. You see, like, don't change the goal. The goal's always there.
Yeah. Yes.
Unless you're really unhappy with the goal, then definitely change it.
Yeah. Change it around a little bit and learn. And move on.
Exactly. You know? I mean, learning is very important. We always learn. You always have to learn. Yeah. Especially.
I feel like some people, like, whenever they, like, fail at something or whatever, like, they don't learn from it sometimes. And, like, they kind of carry the baggage with them. You should carry from the past is, like, what you've learned and what you should improve on, not, like, all the bad stuff that has happened, you know?
Exactly. I mean, I completely relate with the people who, like, have, like, a fear of failure, because I have a really big fear of failure. I, like, yes. Oh my god. It's even in the little things. Like, if someone asked me to do some, like math or something, like, really quickly in my head,
I cannot do it.
I can't, because I'm so scared that I'll get it wrong and they'll think, like, really bad things.
Laugh at me or whatever. Yeah.
And I know the answer. I can do it. It's just
put on the spot.
Yeah, when I put on the spot, I'm like, oh my god, what will they think? What will this person say? And all of that. And that really just doesn't work for me. You should ask my parents. My dad can definitely tell you about this.
I totally agree. Like, yesterday I was at Walmart getting some food, and my mom was like, what's this divided in half? And I'm like, I have no idea. I'm not a mathematician.
Oh my god.
Like, that's what I do now.
But, like, if I were to ask you now, or I'm not going to ask you, but
please don't. I don't know.
Yeah. Ask that on a test or something, you could so do it. So, like, you could do it. It's just that when people ask you, especially people that are close to you, it's really, like, upsetting for me, at least. I get really upset if I let them down. Yeah. Because I'm like, oh, I care about what they think about me, you know?
True. You kind of, like, live up to their expectations.
Yeah.
And, you know, you want to be their friend so bad, so you, like, pretend to be this other person that's not you at all.
Exactly. You want to be that perfect friend. You want to be that perfect daughter. You want to be that perfect son, husband, wife, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's how everyone should live their lives, because honestly, it's quite depressing.
It very much is. Yeah. Yes.
Because when will you find the time to live your life on your own terms if you're spending your life living, you know, making choices and stuff on other people's terms? When will you get the time to do what you want to do?
Yeah, and you, like, really want... It's kind of like, you know, as we said in, like, a couple of episodes before, we kind of, like, put a shield around our like self, like our true self.
Mm-hmm.
And like you can't actually see like really who I am
Mm-hmm.
as a person. And like sometimes I think that's the problem with like, you know, trying to find people to be like your friends or like whatever, because they don't really know who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And like the thing is, like, you don't want to open up so quickly because you don't want to scare them. Be like, this is really who I am. They're like, oh no, no, thank
Yeah, I mean, some people, I know I do. I struggle with this, but
you.
I struggle with like, even if I know you for a really long time and I
Mhm.
trust you, I still struggle with opening up to that person because
Yeah.
I don't know, my problems seem really small to me compared to like other problems. And everyone's always like, well, there's this one friend that's always like, well, your problems are your problems. You can't compare it to other people's problems because they're not going through the same thing. Of course, there's bigger problems than yours. There's always going to be bigger problems than yours.
Mm-hmm.
But just because there's other problems doesn't mean your problems are not important.
True. True, true. Like, I feel like a lot of people compare their problems to, like, rather maybe like a celebrity or, like, you know, some like recent issue that you've seen in like the past or like now. Like, they compare it to that and they're like, once they realize, like, to themselves, they're like, oh, you know, it's not a big deal. I shouldn't
Exactly.
worry about it. And it's like still baggage, you know?
Exactly.
And they don't even like care to bother with it anymore because they're like, it's not enough. Like, I don't, you know, it's nothing now.
Yeah. I mean, you guys even said, like, we set an expectations for our problems. I mean,
Yeah,
come on, really?
that's why we get so stressed out
We
now.
do.
Oh, girl, speaking of getting stressed out, I saw this video the other day. It was like I don't know what it was exactly. I must have saw it on YouTube or something,
Mm-hmm.
but it was talking about how, you know, how we get stressed a lot. And it was saying that, like, you can be addicted to stress if you think about
Like good stress or bad stress? Because it's
bad stress, bad stress.
oh.
Like, you know how, like, whenever we talk about, oh my gosh, I'm so stressed out, and I'm like, yeah, me too.
Uh-huh.
It's kind of like we're encouraging our stress, if you think about it.
Oh, because everyone else is stressed, so you're kind of like, oh, I have to be stressed.
Oh, yeah. Exactly, exactly.
Oh
So,
my
like,
God.
you know, you don't really, like, you're not really stressed, but you say you're stressed, and then it stresses you out. I mean,
Oh,
it's
that honestly reminds me of the whole like, is it just me or like when someone else is sad, you feel like you can't be happy?
yeah, I know. Like, I have to match their emotions for a
Oh my
minute.
God, yes. And
And it makes me sad.
it does. And I find reasons to be sad about and it makes my day like especially if someone in my house is like, I don't know, stressed out or sad or upset about something, I feel like I can't be happy even if I am
No,
happy that day.
it stresses me
It
out, you
does.
know?
It does. And I don't know how to deal with it. Someone tell us how to deal with it.
I am like, walk away, do your own thing, I guess. Like,
Yeah.
because, you know, there will be some days in my house where, like, my mom, my dad, my sister, brother, whoever it may be, are stressed out or just not happy, not in the mood. And it makes me not in the mood because, like, I can't communicate with anybody that's not in a mood.
Exactly.
So it makes me in a mood, if that makes sense.
That
So,
makes
like,
sense.
I don't know how to deal with it.
Exactly. Oh my God, you guys, can we get a therapist on here one day?
Yes,
She
please.
could,
Because we're two unpaid therapists right now.
yeah, he or she can tell us how to deal with any of this.
I would totally love that.
Yes, we all need
Any
help.
therapists want to follow us? Yeah, please.
Yes.
Any therapist, if you know therapists, let them follow us on our Insta and we can DM them so we
Mm-hmm.
can.
We will bring a therapist on here so we can all deal with our problems together, you guys.
And it'll help it out.
Yep, we'll try our best.
Mm-hmm. It's like free therapy session for everybody.
Yes, that is only if you guys really need to answer the questions on our story.
Yes, guys. Come on. We know you see them.
Yes.
But, like, you don't be scared. We're here. It's okay.
We will not judge you. Have you met us? We're in no place to judge you. We're a mess ourselves.
I know. Oh my.
But yeah, I mean, honestly, I feel like fear is such a big thing in the expectations thing. Like I feel like that's where expectations in general come from. Fear.
Mm-hmm.
Fear of failure, fear of like letting people down, And then you're like, okay, so let me reach their expectations and become a doctor because I'm scared to fail.
Yeah, I know. Like, if you think about it, if we ever put just, like, everything behind, like, stress, fear, all of that, and you think about it, like, if you were going to, like, an interview, for instance, you know how you get, like, nervous, and you're like, oh, I hope they like me. And, like, if you think about it, you're like, why in the world am I stressed? Or, like, nervous? Why?
It's because you're expected to get that job.
Yeah. And if you, like, think about it, I'm like, well, first off, like, if they don't like me, they don't like me. It's fine. Like, it's not like I'm going to see them my whole life. So, like, put the stress away, and it's going to be fine. Like, you totally feel fine. Like, I did that in an interview, like, a couple weeks ago, and I was so stressed. I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. And then for a minute, like, before I walked into my interview, I was like, Layla, like, if they don't like you because of you, that's fine. That's not a job that you should be working for. And so, I put the stress away, and I went in there, and I was perfectly fine without any stress. And there was nothing to, like, be stressed about if you think about it.
Exactly. I mean, you guys, you have to realize that not everyone's going to like you all the time. Okay?
No.
So if someone doesn't like you, oh freaking well, you have someone that does. You'll be fine.
Yes.
I mean, come on. We like you. How about that? If you guys feel like someone doesn't like you, just listen to us, and we're going to say, we like you, because we do.
Yes, you're a great person.
Whoever's listening, you're a great person. Okay?
Hopefully.
Go be your... Yeah, hopefully. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Hopefully you're a good person.
Go be your amazing self. Not any amazing. Like, go be you. And do amazing.
Yeah, go be you. Yep. Don't, like, put an expectation up for yourself and try to be like Kim Kardashian, because you're not Kim Kardashian. Yes. Nobody is that. Nobody's you.
I feel like do you think there's, like, a difference between expectations and goals?
Yeah.
For sure.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think that, like, expectations are more of, like, a lot of about, like, other people's, like, thoughts about, like, where you should be, and, like, kind of, like, where you think it's, like, more pressured, I think, than a goal. Like, I feel like a goal is a good thing. I feel like an expectation can be a good thing, but it's more of, like, kind of downed a little bit,
Exactly. I mean, expectations might have been a good thing way back then, but now there's so much negativity around that word because people are always expecting something from you. Always. We did a quote about it, so check it out on our Instagram.
Yes.
But
we love it.
Yes. But, like, I feel like goals are something that you set for yourself, and I feel like you're more motivated to do goals. Like, it's the motivation is coming from within you. Like, you're like, oh, I want to be there when I'm this. I want to get there. Whatever it is.
Like, plan it out.
And expectations are like, oh my god, I have to get there. If I don't, people are going to look at me and laugh.
Totally.
You see the difference there?
Yeah. I totally see it. Like, I feel like if I was just saying out loud, I was like, now I have an expectation for myself to reach this limit by then. That sounds, like, so harsh, but if you say, I have a goal for myself to reach this by then.
Exactly.
Two different things if you think about it.
Honestly, like, don't live on other people's expectations. I don't know how many times I'm going to say this. I'm going to keep saying it
until
it gets in everyone's head. Until it gets in my head. How about that?
Don't do it. We know expectations. Like, no. If somebody does that to you, has an expectation, move on. They're not for you.
Exactly.
Like, unless it's, like, a good expectation. Like, for our parents telling us we need to go to college because it's a good thing.
Yeah. And also, I feel like that still has some kind of pressure to it because you're like, oh my god, what if I don't get into a good college? What if I don't get into a good college?
What if I don't get into college?
Yeah, and I'm like, oh my god, what if I fail in life because I didn't get into a good college?
Yes, exactly.
Don't do that.
Like, I feel like parents can have an expectation for you, especially, like, many to go to college, like us. And, like, I can see, like, how if you wouldn't, like, if you chose, like, not to go to college, how they would be, like, a little bit, like, I don't know, if it just depends on, like, each parent. Like, rather they could be disappointed or they just could not understand it. And, like, you have to find a way to make them understand or at least help them out a little bit. You know, like it just depends on each person. But like for me, Mom, if you're listening, I love you. I'm going to college.
Yes, we're going to college. Honestly, I feel like there's this thing that I want to share with you guys that my dad always tells me to do.
Ooh.
So basically, he always tells me that if you have low expectations, you are never setting yourself up to be disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you have low to zero expectations and you expect nothing from anybody or anything, then whatever you get, you won't be disappointed because you don't have this thing in your mind. You're like, oh, I expect it to be amazing, you know?
Yeah.
And if it's not amazing, you're not like, why wasn't it amazing? And that's when the stress comes in and everything goes
Yeah.
down.
Everything fear.
Yeah.
It's just bad. I know. I hate that like stress and fear and all of that's even a thing, but like that's what makes us human and like gets us through things if you think about it. It's like a good thing to have them because like you can like, you know, work through it and like be a human being, you know?
Yeah. Speaking of fear, are you scared of the dark?
It depends. Like my own room, no. If I was walking down an alley in the dark, yes.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Cool. Those are two different darks. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Like I know how like, you know, little kids are scared of the dark because they think monsters are in their closets or underneath their beds, but like, you know, I'm not scared of the dark. It just depends on like the area that I'm in, you know, like the scenery.
Sure. For sure. But I honestly I find like comfort in darkness almost.
Okay.
I like the uncertain, like everything's so uncertain in the darkness. And I like it. I feel like I can't control anything, so nothing is expected of me in the dark.
I got you.
And
like
I feel relaxed, you know?
I know. I do feel relaxed in the dark, like before I'm gonna go to bed or something.
Yeah.
It's just calming because it's like when you close your eyes, you know, you sleep because like it's just, I don't know, relaxing or whatever. But like whenever like you just look up at your ceiling, like you don't see a ceiling, you see pitch black, you know. And it's like it's kind of calming if you think about it. It's like there's nothing.
Exactly.
You know, it's like there's no stress stuff like that.
Exactly. Nothing is expected of you in the dark, and I absolutely love it. But it's also when I overthink, so it can go down.
Let's talk about overthinking,
like one of two ways. Yeah.
This girl is the biggest overthinker in the world.
I know, but I don't know where that came from, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I mean, I would tell you if I knew, but I don't.
Yeah.
So I can't help you.
Yeah. I know, like, you're a huge overthinker.
I am
but, like, it can be a good and bad thing at the same time. Like, whenever you, like, overthink some things, you're like, okay, if you were at the grocery store and you were going to buy, like, this box of cereal and it was, like, $5, you're, like, overthinking if that's too much. Should I buy it? Should I buy this?
Oh, I don't overthink for buying stuff ever.
Oh, really? I know you tell me, like, you overthink, like, trying to buy things and, like, spend money.
No, I control. I mean, I like, make sure I'm getting the best thing possible, but I don't overthink. You can ask my mom. She's always like, you need to be rich because apparently I have, like, I'm very high maintenance or something. That's what she said. And, like, and she's kind of right because I immediately get drawn to, like, expensive things. Yeah. It's really weird. Like, if we go to a store and I don't know the price of anything, the first thing that I'll pick is probably something expensive. It just works that way. I don't know why.
Yeah, I didn't know that about you.
Well,
like I know you're an overthinker. I just thought you overthinked about everything because it's kind of sounds like it. Like whenever
it does.
you tell me stuff, it's like you overthink about like little things. But like I mean, it's totally fine when you tell me because like I'll like talk to you about it.
Yeah.
And like send you quotes from Pinterest. But
she does. She does.
Yeah. I know. It's so fun.
I mostly overthink about like, I guess, expectations. Whenever I fail, wow, this is gonna get deep. Wow.
Oh,
okay.
Look what I did.
Anyway, I overthink most of the time at like night because, especially during the days where I feel like I've made everyone upset because I didn't do something they wanted me to, or I didn't do it in a way they wanted me to, or if I feel like I let someone down because I wasn't someone they wanted me to be. You know, I wasn't the perfect daughter that day. I wasn't the perfect friend that
Mm-hmm.
day. I I don't know. And I feel like I don't know. I can't even explain it.
Yeah, I got you. I got you. Like with being like the perfect daughter. Oh my, that's a big one.
That is a,
Because like you may do something that you think is totally fine,
mm-hmm.
but like for like your parents or whoever, they're like, that's not cool, Sanjana. Like,
Yeah,
why'd you do that? And then you down yourself because of that. You're like, but like, what? I didn't do anything.
exactly. And it gets really bad because I feel I really, really don't like this, but whenever this happens, I always overthink it. It seems so silly now that I talk about it, but let's say like I did something that was like, maybe my mom or dad asked me to water the plants or something. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah.
And I didn't like put enough water, or I didn't water them like perfectly, quotes
Mm-hmm.
in
I
quotes.
got you. Yeah.
And like let's say that they get like really mad, they're like, and they give me a like whole thing, they're like, oh my god, if you don't know how to water plants, how will you do anything in life? There's so many other big problems that you need to deal with, blah blah. And I'm like, oh my god, okay, wow,
Yeah.
what if I fail because I don't know how to water plants?
Yeah, I mean, I get that though, because like, your parents could tell you to like water the plants outside or something, and like rather you forget,
Yeah.
like because you're doing something because you have a life,
Uh-huh.
and like you do the wrong thing, you water the wrong plants or whatever it may
Exactly.
be, and you get yelled at for doing that, like they would notice. But like, I don't know, like it kind of hits you no matter like the simplest things, you
I
know?
know, and I just feel like I'm always disappointing people,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it doesn't feel good.
I know. Like, I feel like there are some times where, like, you're just so sensitive to
I
emotions
am.
that, like, you could totally break down that second,
I
you know?
could. The good
Um,
part is that I do not cry that much. So me
lucky you.
me breaking down is me going into my bathroom and just sitting there for a bit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like if I get upset or something, like I don't like to show people that.
Mm-hmm.
So like I will just walk into like the other room, like my room, bathroom, whatever it is, with nobody in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll just like sit and think about like what in the world,
Yeah.
Or just cry it, ball it out, and then get
And
all
then
the
walk out
emotions
like
out where
nothing
like there's
happened.
nothing. Yeah, walk out like nothing happened. Like we're great actresses, guys.
It's amazing.
But
I know
oh
everyone does this. You can't even deny it. Everyone does
no.
this.
Please. Oh my gosh. It is so common,
It is.
like, for everybody to do that.
I saw a quote about this the other day. Girls always like cry in their car and then like go back.
Yeah.
The only thing that bothered me in that quote was that why can't it also be boys?
Yeah. I can totally see a guy, like, you barely see guys cry.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I know that, like, whenever we see boys, we don't actually think of them crying over some, like, little thing. If they lost a game or something.
Yeah,
Like,
and I'm like, they're people too.
they
They
have
have emotions
feelings.
too. I also don't
Mm-hmm.
like that people relate only like associate girls like, oh yeah, girls cry all the time.
Oh my God. Like, I cry on a general basis, but, like, 24/7, that's a no.
That's exhausting.
That is like I'd just be so tired.
Yeah.
Like how like whenever you're done crying, like you're just tired and you want to fall
Oh
asleep.
my god, that's exactly what I was about to say. I'm like, I always get really sleepy after I cry.
I'm like, ugh, let's go to bed.
Yes, you actually get a really good night's sleep after you cry.
True. If you just cry yourself to sleep.
That's actually really sad. I'm sorry if you do that. Please
That's
DM
sad.
us. We'll
That's
talk you
really
through
sad.
it.
But you get a good night's
But you
sleep.
get a
You
really
think
nice.
about
Yeah.
things. You really think about things when you do that.
I know. Oh my god, I hate thinking about this.
I know. Dang, dude. Okay, first off, like talking about boys again, because we didn't really finish that discussion. So, we see boys and we don't really think they'll cry, but like I've never, like, okay, like, I have a brother, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And, like, I've seen him cry before because he's my brother and I'm around him, but, like, it's not over, like, like, oh my God, I stubbed my toe kind of thing.
Yeah, no
It's
one cries
like,
over that. Yeah.
big things, like school or whatever, grades, whatever that may be. And, like, I'm sure boys totally cry over that little stuff, or, like, even the same things that we would cry about.
For
Or,
sure.
like, the same situation with the plants. They may do the same thing.
Exactly. I mean,
Like,
honestly, you guys, like, I feel like our generation is more open to it. Some people are, at least.
mhm. I
Um,
hope so.
yeah. Because, I scroll through TikTok and I just see all these boys like showing feelings. I'm like, oh my God, look at you admitting you're a
I love
human.
it. Boys have feelings, guys.
Yes. Treat them with respect. Treat us with respect. Treat everyone with
Yeah.
respect because everyone deserves
hmm
it.
You know what I don't like, though, is that boys will totally down boys for crying.
Oh yeah. I'm like, what are you
I'm like,
doing? I
Jesus,
feel like
grow
boys that
up.
do that are the ones that cry a lot.
True, true.
So,
So, like, come on. We've all cried in our lives at least once, like, at least more than once, but, like, come on.
yeah,
Like,
don't put other people down for crying. Don't put other people down for showing their emotions. It's none
no.
of your business. If they're crying, let them be.
hmm
If you want to
It's
cry,
okay to
cry
cry.
with them. I don't know, do whatever.
Yeah, like, comfort them. Like, it's okay. Like, I know they're like, oh my God, that's so girly or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just like, are you kidding me? It's okay. Just comfort them. They need it. And help them get over it. Like, talk
Yes.
with them. It's totally
Let's
fine.
move past the expectation that boys do not cry because they
Because they do.
do. They do
I've seen,
have feelings.
I've seen it.
I know it's a surprise to all the
I know,
boomers out
guys.
there,
Oh,
but it's
boys
not.
cry.
Yes.
Boys, oh my gosh. No way.
I've been
It's
binging
true.
The
Breaking
Marvelous
news.
Mrs. Maisel, and I feel like I'm kind of turning into her.
Oh my
I
gosh.
love
I showed
that
that.
show
Oh my
so
god.
much.
It's so good. I love it.
It is really good.
It's so detailed and I love it. The ending.
Oh, don't tell me I'm on season 2.
Uh-huh. I'm not saying squat.
Okay, good.
Now, y'all, I hope everybody has learned a lesson during this entire therapy session that we've been through. Now, everybody, the main focus of this entire episode is that to not let expectations like get the best of you, because we all know how stressful it can be, and we just want y'all to like move on from it, and learn and grow bigger, have power to you. But thank y'all for listening so much. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, like, share. Don't forget to also follow our Instagram at DoTellOfficial. And we will see you guys next time. Take it easy, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.